Alright, so for this presentation I chose to go over the accounting process. Um, when it came to the different topics in this week's modules, to me this just seemed like one of the most foundational for any aspiring accounting or finance worker, just general life really. And so first of all, when you're talking about anything, you gotta identify what it is, why are we talking about it, why are we here? Well, the accounting process is important because it is the foundation for financial planning and decision making. Without accounting and the accounting process, we kind of just have a scrambled up mess of just vaguely keeping track of numbers. This is kind of a very clear way of being able to keep track of our finances, which will help us plan for the future because we'll have this backlog in archives and record keeping of our finances. So it comes to the explanation, first looking at calculations here. The main accounting you want to look at, this quote from the textbook says it well. The fundamental accounting equation, which is also known as the balance sheet equation, looks like this. Assets equals liabilities plus owner's equity. So to kind of just explain what those terms are, assets is just like the value of the resources that business has, like the total value. If you add them all up, the equipment they might have, cash, everything, if you add it all up, that's your assets. And that's like the value, the monetary value of those things is like how much your assets are. And then your liabilities is the claims of people you have, of your creditors, people when you owe something. That's what a liability is. It's kind of like when you have any sort of debt, liability falls in that front. And then you add that with your owner's equity, and that'll equal your assets. And owner's equity, as described by the book here as well, it's the claim of the owners of the business, those inside the business. And one really important thing that I need to explain when it comes to the balance sheet equation and just the accounting process, kind of the basics, is everything must even out. So if you have a T-chart, if you have a T-chart, you need to have some sort of, let's say you spend $10 on some sort of equipment for your office, you'll need to have $10 on the other side for that office equipment expense, so that it all evens out, so that your books are clean, and that it all is how it should be. So everything must even out in your T-charts and in your accounting processes. You gotta have the same stuff on each side. It must balance out at the end. So when it comes to applying the balance sheet equation and accounting processes, if you ever want to own a business, this becomes really important. If you ever want to be an accountant, obviously, but really you can even just use it in normal life when it comes to just making spreadsheets so you can help budget and finance yourself, keep track of what you're buying. Generally though, when it comes to more strict accounting rules and the more strict accounting process and balance sheet equation, all that, that's mainly for business applications. But if you're ever in the business field, keeping the books with accounting and these main tools is very critical and can be very applicable to your life. So when it comes to ethics for this kind of thing, there's a lot of laws with accounting, and one of those is, because of how the laws work, you'll lose some sort of confidentiality, because IRS and government want to make sure you're not doing any money laundering or anything like that, any sort of unethical or illegal business practices. And so because of that, you do lose some confidentiality when it comes to doing the proper accounting process, which, obviously privacy is a very important thing for all citizens to have. So that can get a little wishy-washy, but there isn't a lot you can do about it. At the end of the day, you gotta follow the law. If you're asking, is it ethical to follow the law, I would say yes. So in this case, the simple thing to do here is just to stick with the law and be transparent and make sure you're doing everything by the book and legal and not doing anything wrong. Kind of going along with that, here's a biblical viewpoint. Here's a Bible verse, two verses from Proverbs 16 and 17. There are 6 things the Lord hates, 7 that are an abomination to him. Haughty eyes, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood. The key phrase here is a lying tongue. Basically, I just chose this passage just because it kind of shows probably should be lying. So it's like being transparent about your accounting, being honest, making sure you track everything. You're not fudging any of the numbers. You're not trying to sneak some money past people. Being honest, not lying, is a very biblical principle that we should follow. And here's my references, just the 2 references from the Sky Pack module and I use the ESV for the Bible verse. And yeah, so overall, that's just what the accounting process is about, and the balance sheet equation especially. Thanks for watching.